And we're back. Howdy y'all, this is Ethan Bonreal back at it again, giving you that gay shit you love while jumping into Final Fantasy 15. So last time we were here, we forgot this game actually had an actual plot for a bit, and I basically just ran around doing quests and murdering robots, which was pretty woke, honestly. And that also gave me an excuse to talk a little bit about being gay and being afraid of love, so kind of like resisting love while being gay, because you're kind of either uncomfortable with your sexuality or you don't have super great self-esteem. This time around, we're going to work on some more quests, because, I mean, why the hell not? And I'm going to talk about fighting with other gays over guys, plus thinking about consistent themes and the kind of guys that you're into, so I'm hyped about it. As a heads up, this episode is post-commentated because I recorded a batch, just so I make sure that I'm uploading regularly again, because I have slowed down with my upload schedule, and it's just because I've been doing a lot of stuff, honestly, and I've been applying to a lot of jobs. But, in the meantime, we're gonna try to get these nerds up here so I can fucking scoop up that item that's up there, because I don't know what it is, but I want it. Let's see. What was it? Alright, I got a Garlua tusk. There we go. That's fine. Also, incidentally, I'm pretty sure we have, like, some shit that we can give to Taka back at Hammerhead, so we need to take care of that too. But anyway, updates on what's going on with me, and I'm going to tell you a little bit why I chose to do the topics that I am doing today. It's related to Final Fantasy 15. So, what's going on with me? I just applied to a job like 30 minutes ago to be a case manager at a hospital, which is pretty exciting. It's actually not even a hospital, it's a, well it is, it's a non-profit, but it's more like a center. It's not like a hospital, and it's not quite a clinic. But anyway, they help hook people up with hospitals, TLDR. And I'm kind of excited about that, because as you may or may not know, I have a master's degree in public administration, and that also qualifies you to do work in the nonprofit field, and I would be very interested in doing that kind of work, honestly, because I really want to help people. That's the gay soul of giving inside of me, just screaming out to help the masses. But the reason why I was interested in doing this topic, like I said, is related to Final Fantasy 15, because there's some moments where actually you kind of catch that Prompto is a little bit jealous of Gladio's kind of appeal with women, because he's a big old muscular fertility god who's just bubbling with testosterone, and decidedly Prompto is a little bit of a twink and kind of not the pillar of masculinity that Gladio is, which is fine. And again, I've talked about how it's pretty cool that there are a lot of different versions of masculinity and just ways of being in general depicted in this party, which is interesting. But it reminded me basically of when I'm with my gay friends and like everyone's interested in the same guy. Like usually it's when like a new gay shows up and everyone just basically like their booty holes open up like 5 times their normal size and they just try to envelop that person like they're a pitcher plant or something. And I mean, it's cute. It's funny. And I mean, I've been there. I've done that before. There's actually this guy that I used to go to college with who, he was really cool. He was really cute too. And me and my friend were like hanging out, and we saw him because we recognized him from the LGBT group. And we just started talking to him, and we were basically getting kind of catty with each other because we both were attracted to him, which was pretty funny. And we both even commented after he headed off to go do whatever he was going to do for the rest of the night. Like, he was like, holy shit, the claws really came out. And I thought that was really funny. And that happens a lot too. And that's kind of like when guys still have that, like, I guess, masculine mystique. I think I've talked about this in a video before, but like, sometimes when you meet someone, like, when you're hanging out with your friends, a lot of times it's like your fucking girlfriends or something. You're like basically sisters. And when you're sisters, you don't want to, like, bump coochies, you know what I'm saying? Like, they lose some of that appeal, basically. You don't necessarily see them as, like, a guy that you want to be with sometimes. And I don't mean that, like, femininity isn't cute. It's just like when you get intimate with a gay friend in that way, they stop being like trade and they become like family. So like when someone's just like just the right amount of distant for you, they still have like, I guess in air quotes, that masculine mystique, or mystique? I don't know how to say anything. Masculine mystique. So it's like, in your mind, they could still be like that straight boy that you had a crush on when you were a teenager, right? Instead of a big old queen, which is valid, because like I said before, I'm actually like attracted to gayness. I think it's really cool, and I think it's really cute, and like, honestly, I'm pretty into guys when they're kind of feminine. Like, I like both. I like guys who are masculine and feminine. I like a blend of both, but anyway, when someone's new and they're basically trade in your eyes, it just makes them very appealing in a lot of cases. And that's when I find that gay friends tend to like, I don't want to say butt heads, but like get kind of silly over like competing for that person's attention. Like I remember I was at the gay men's group and someone new showed up and he had a really deep voice and he was very shy. And so everyone basically was just like super into him the second he sat down, because it was like, oh, there's a new person here and he's masked. And in my mind I was like, that's actually probably not true, he just has a deep voice, he seems pretty gay. But everyone was just like projecting their little homosexual fantasies on him about how he was like basically trade and he was like a straight guy that they were gonna just make into their husband. And I thought that was pretty funny. Like, I could see it in everyone's faces. People were just, like, really peeking at him and trying to, like, act like they weren't looking at him, but, like, we're just always just, like, trying to turn the conversation to get him to talk more, which was very fascinating to me. But that's just how it is sometimes. That's just how it be. It's pretty funny to me. And I think that's interesting too, because I find that a lot of gays I know try to date outside of their friend group. That's not always 100%. It just depends on like how many guys are accessible to you, but they date outside of their friend group because it's like, how do I say this? Like, it's like what I was talking about before. You know, you just stop being sisters. When you're outside of your friend group and someone has that kind of like mysteriousness to them. And it's neat thinking about this in regards to Final Fantasy 15, because you have like these guys acting all sorts of different ways. And it's interesting that that doesn't become more of a plot point, that they're kind of like competing for affection. But at the same time, this game is more about camaraderie than romance, which is why the romance portion of this game is actually really fucking boring, and one of the worst in Final Fantasy. Oh well. I would really love, like, for one, the next Final Fantasy game to have, like, a really ultra mega gay protagonist. Actually, I just want Ignis to be the protagonist, because he's a big ol' homo. And I want that to play, like, a role in the story, because gay love is an extremely woke type of love. Which is, again, I'm waiting for like us to get deeper in the story so I can talk more about Ignis, because I have a lot to say about him. But if you don't know and you haven't watched my videos before, I am 100% convinced, like no joke, that it is 100% canon that Ignis is a homosexual. He is a big gay homo. He is a queen. He is light in his loafers. He just loves blasting rope to a good dude. He loves bar titties. He is gay. And who he's gay with, that's up in the air. I personally ship him with Gladio, but most people ship him with Noctis, and you'll see why. But I just don't see that canon, because I'm more into, well, for one, I'm more into Gladio and Ignis being together, because I think they're, like, on a similar wavelength of maturity, honestly. Because Ignis is basically like Noctis's mom in this game, TBH, like... He's always the one making sure that, like, Noctis is okay, and he's, like, taking care of him a lot. And that's, something that you can see, like, in the anime, too, if you watch it. But, anyway, I really want to talk about Ignis more later in the game, but we have to wait. We gotta wait until it's plot relevant. But as a reminder, I said that I think Ignis can be read very similarly to Pearl from Steven Universe, especially if you've watched the most recent episodes. And you can take that information and do with it whatever you will, but that is a good point of reference to analyze his actions. Anyway, so what we're doing now is we're wrapping up some quests. We gathered some quest mats to turn into Taka, which is why we're back at Hammerhead. And right now I'm looking back through the other quests I can do so I can kind of chart out how I want to handle things, because, again, this game is fucking huge. Well, relatively. They're bigger open world-ish games, but in terms of, like, Let's Playing, this is, like, actually pretty daunting. But I'm excited, I'm hyped.
What's up? What's with the long face?
Perhaps procuring beans isn't a princely
Alright, so we need to go get these fucking beans, I guess. Oh, I forgot it's nighttime. And Ignis doesn't like to drive at night. So we're probably gonna camp out here.
Let us wait for morning.
People, like, who don't see how gay Ignis is, just really, like, it just blows my mind. Like, just look at him. Like, he always has his hands on his hips, and he stands like a male blood elf NPC. It's amazing. I just love it. He is so gay.
It's bedtime.
He is a queen.
Sounds good.
But, I should probably move on to the next topic, right? Or should I talk more about the game? Like, I have, like, some sort of obligation to actually talk about Final Fantasy 15. I actually haven't checked on my Final Fantasy 15, like, fanfics or anything. It is really hard for me to find fanfiction I like. And I think part of it is because it's, like,
Perfect timing.
a lot of people who write fanfiction for this game do a very poor job of, like, understanding how to portray how men/males/men adjacents, like, show romantic and physical affection for each other. Like, in a lot of the fanfics that are /fanfics, it basically is, like, they kind of just, like, use a straight relationship as a template, and they just put gay characters in it. And they just don't understand some of the nuances of how, like, guys flirt, and, like, some of the insecurity about trying to figure out if someone you're into is mutually into you. Because it's different when you're gay. For one, because you don't want people to, like, freak out and, like, beat the shit out of you. And then two, it's like, I think it means something more when you're gay and someone else is gay and that person is also not into you. Because it's like, oh, it's not because they're straight, it's because I'm busted, or it's because I'm not cute or something, right? It just has a different self-esteem thing going on. Which isn't always true. Like, it's not true. In my opinion, there are very few, like, ugly people in the world. Like, it's very, very hard to be ugly unless you're a really mean person. Like, someone will be attracted to you. And I'm speaking directly to you, viewer. If you feel really busted, I promise you, in this great gay world, there will be at least one guy who is into you. Like, one. At least one. It might be harder for you, and I'm never gonna disavow that. Like, I'm never gonna, like, dismiss your feelings of, like, being unattractive, because I can relate to that. But I will say that, like, it's not completely hopeless. Things might seem impossible, but the reality is that, like, things are a little bit more possible than they seem, in my opinion. It's just hard. And it sucks that it's harder for some people. But, you know, that's just how it is. So this is our first time this has happened, but when you're driving around and Prompto sees, like, sites of interest, he will actually sometimes ask you to pull over to take a photo, which is pretty cute, honestly. It's a cute touch to the game. Incidentally, I love Final Fantasy 1, which is the soundtrack that's being played right now. Also, we haven't murdered shit in a while, so it'll be nice to kind of be out and about, running around. My fingers are itching for some murder fight. But the next topic I wanted to talk about is the themes and guys that I'm consistently into. Or that are consistently into me, because that's a different topic. And, I don't know, like, my type is generally nerds, honestly. And
Hand slipped.
it's like complicated, because
Last thing I knew now.
I don't want to be corny, but like video games are like such a big part of my life that it is very hard for me to like be able to sustain like interest that's mutual with someone that does not involve like them knowing about video games or internet culture, if that makes sense. Like, it's just like I literally stream for 8 hours a day playing video games, and then like work for 4 hours, and then play video games, and like go to bed after playing video games at 6 a.m. Like, that's just like such a big part of my life. Also, I'm getting shocked, Mom. What the fuck? Get fucked, son. I just love kicking people in the face in video games. It's just a mood. But the kind of guys that are usually into me, like, to be real, my experience is pretty limited, even though I'm like 27 years old, because I haven't had too many people very into me. But when they are, I think they like that I'm very confident, and that also I'm pretty reliable. I would like to say that. Because I do strongly believe that. I feel like I'm a pretty confident person, and I'm pretty reliable. Which is hard, because... Oh shit, Ignis! What the fuck happened to you, son? I need to go heal him. Oh shit, he's stumbling towards me. Need to give him some of these poppers. There you go. Take a whiff. There you go. Got the popper fumes, healing him up. But... I don't know, it might sound like I'm a lot less confident than I am sometimes, because, like, I'll talk about, like, stuff that's troubling me, but, like, for me, talking about my issues and talking through them is, like, a part of my confidence process. It's, like, how I get more comfortable with myself and stuff. But other than that, I don't know, I tend to, I don't want to be vulgar, but I tend to attract, like, a lot of
Good call. Now it's picture time.
power bottoms that have like a lot of deep personal issues, TBH. Like that last guy I was just talking about that my friend and I were fighting over. He actually was kind of into me. And he was actually like an arms dealer. I didn't know that, but it was pretty wild. He was an arms dealer, and he just really wanted me to put it in his butt. But that never happened because
Love the lighting.
I wasn't Chad enough for that point in time. But anyway, I'm gonna wrap up the video here because we're out of time. But in the meantime, in between time, I'm gone.